There was a document, a single document that would change everything. And for 4 years, it was hidden in a place I believed to be absolutely safe. Absolutely. A place in a closet in the back of the room that nobody touched. A place under old shoeboxes that nobody looked at anymore. A place between clothes that nobody wore anymore. A well-hidden place. A place I was absolutely sure would never be discovered. But I was wrong. Completely, totally wrong. Today, I am here to tell a story that changed absolutely everything in my life. A story that is not beautiful. A story that does not have a happy ending. A story that started with a casual conversation that seemed innocent. A conversation that ended with my world completely collapsing into fragments that I could never reassemble. A story about how 4 years of lies can destroy everything you have built. Absolutely everything. Your career, your family, your sense of self. Who you are as a person. If you are here because you like stories that explode into devastating revelations, leave a like right now. Click that thumbs up now. Because what I'm about to tell you will make you question absolutely everything about secrets, about honesty, and about the real price of a lie. Turn on notifications because you will want to see more stories like this. Because this story will keep you up at night. You will be thinking about it for weeks. You will constantly question yourself. It all started so normally. So incredibly normal that it's scary when you think about it later. An ordinary day, a Thursday like any other. I was at work in my office, sitting in my office chair, thinking about completely trivial things. Thinking about reports I needed to finish by the end of the day. Thinking about meetings I had to have with my colleagues. Thinking about lunch. Thinking about absolutely nothing that mattered. Nothing that made a difference in the grand scheme of things. My phone was on the desk. It vibrated. A call that seemed completely innocent at the time. A call that meant absolutely nothing at the moment. But that would turn into everything. That would turn into a time bomb that would destroy my entire life. Destroy my marriage. Destroy my family. Destroy who I thought I was. Destroy every hope I had for the future. The voice on the other end of the line was familiar. I knew it as well as I know my own voice. Better, even. I knew it in every tone, in every possible emotion. I knew when she was happy. I knew when she was sad. I knew when she was lying. Or I thought I knew. But there was something different about her that day. A tension I had never heard before. An urgency that let me know something was wrong. A coldness. A distance. A shift in tone that made my gut instinct go off like an alarm. "Can you leave early today?" the voice asked. Without emotion, without explanation, without warmth, without the affection she normally had with me. Just a direct question. Cold, distant, as if she were talking to a stranger. "Why?" I asked, confused. My instinct was already starting to fire. My chest was starting to tighten. My throat was getting dry. Did something happen? Is there a problem? Are you okay? Is the family okay? "Not now," she replied. Her voice was strange, as if she were speaking from a very distant place, as if she were talking to a stranger, as if she were talking to someone she hadn't known for years. "When you get home, we'll talk. We'll talk in person. This is important. It's very important." And the call disconnected. Leave a comment telling me where you are watching this from right now. What city are you in? What country are you in? What state? What region? What time is it where you are right now? Are you at home? At work? In the car driving? On the bus? On the subway? On the train? On the street? Tell me, because I want to know where this story is reaching. I want to know who is listening to me. I want to know if you're feeling the same panic that I felt in that moment. I want to know if you have ever been through something similar. Those words echoed in my mind for the rest of the day. When you get home, we'll talk. For words that seemed simple, for words that didn't mean much, but that were anything but simple. Because when you hear that phrase, you know. You feel instinctively that something is very wrong, deeply wrong. You feel in your bone marrow that your life is about to change irreversibly, permanently, in a way that you will never be able to recover from. Never. I tried to work for the rest of the day. I tried to focus on the reports. I tried to pretend that everything was normal. I tried to act as if nothing had happened, but I couldn't. I couldn't do anything but think about that call. That voice, that tone. My mind was racing. My heart pounded periodically. My stomach clenched. The hours passed very slowly. Every minute felt like an hour. What had she found? Something I did? Something I said? Something I had kept? Something she shouldn't have found? Millions of possibilities ran through my mind, each one worse than the last, each one more terrifying, each one more devastating than the last. None of them were good, not a single one. They were all bad. They were all horrible. I looked at the clock so many times I lost count. 1:30 p.m., 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m., 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., 4 p.m. Every minute was an eternity. Every second was torture. I had never felt so uncomfortable. I had never felt so anxious. I had never realized how long a workday could last. It had never been so long. My co-worker, David, asked if I was okay. I said I was. I lied. I was dying inside. My hands were shaking. My face was pale. My eyes were probably like saucers. But I lied. Because you don't tell the truth in moments like these. You just pretend everything is fine until you can get home. Finally, at 4 p.m., I grabbed my things and left. My boss didn't even ask why. My colleagues didn't even notice I was leaving. I walked out of the building like a man walking to his execution, like a condemned man walking to the gallows, like someone who knows something bad is coming and can do nothing to stop it. I left work early. I drove home too fast, way too fast, dangerously fast, as if I could outrun the inevitable, as if I could get home and find out it had all been a misunderstanding, as if someone would tell me it was a joke, as if everything would suddenly be okay, as if life would go back to normal. But life doesn't go back to normal, ever. When something changes like that, when you cross that line, there's no going back. There's no reset. There's no second chance to make it right. You just live with the consequences. I hit every red light on the way home, 4 red lights in a row, as if the universe was testing me, as if it was trying to warn me, as if it was trying to give me more time to prepare for what was coming. But there wasn't enough time. There would never be enough time. Not in a million years would there be enough time to prepare for what was coming. Nothing prepares you for the moment your world collapses. At each red light, I had more time to think, more time to worry, more time for my heart to pound as if it wanted to burst out of my chest, more time for my stomach to twist into knots, more time for my mind to create worse scenarios, more time for me to feel the panic rising in my body like cold water. Each light was like a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When I got home, the first thing I noticed was a silence that shouldn't have been there, a disturbing silence, frightening. The house should have been full of sounds, full of life, full of movement, full of normalcy, full of people. But no, it was as if everything had stopped, as if time had completely frozen, as if someone had pressed a pause button on the entire universe. As if reality had paused for what was to come, as if God was holding his breath, waiting to see what I would do. I opened the door slowly, carefully, as if I were opening a box that could explode. I stepped carefully through the door, as if I were entering a house that wasn't mine, as if I were entering a dangerous place, as if I were stepping on a minefield. Every step was measured. Every movement was careful. She was in the living room, sitting on the couch, waiting, her eyes red from crying, her body tense like a rope, her posture rigid as steel. And when our eyes met, I knew. I just knew. I knew in the depths of my being that everything had changed forever, that my life would never be the same again, that nothing would ever be as it was before, that this was the moment when everything changes. This was the point of no return. I found something, she said. Just that. For words that unleashed a cascade of destruction. For words that changed absolutely everything. For words I would never forget. That would haunt me for the rest of my life. That would wake me up in the middle of the night For years. 4 words. What? I asked, my heart already racing. My chest began to ache. My face turned pale. I felt the blood draining from my face. My hands started to shake. My whole body began to react to what was coming next. I found it while cleaning the closet, she answered. Her voice was strange, as if she were speaking from a very distant place, as if she were talking to a ghost, as if she were talking to someone who was already dead. I was looking for old things to store, clothes we don't wear anymore, things we could donate, things that were taking up space, things that no longer had value. And I found this under everything, under the boxes, under the old clothes, deep down, as if you wanted to hide it. She held up a piece of paper I recognized immediately, a piece of paper I had kept in a secret place for 4 years, a place I believed was completely safe, a place I believed no one would ever find. But she had found it. She had rummaged and explored and finally found it. The thing I had fought so hard to hide. The thing I had kept as my deepest secret. The document trembled in her hands. Or maybe it was my hands that trembled as I looked at it. I couldn't tell anymore. Everything was starting to spin. Everything was starting to fall apart. My entire world was beginning to collapse, like a demolished building, like a house of cards in the wind. Can you explain? She asked. Her voice was strangely calm, terribly calm, the calm that comes before the storm, the calm of someone who has already made a decision, the calm of someone who will not change their mind, the calm of someone who has already decided her fate. And mine. I can explain. I began, but I didn't know where to start. How do you explain 4 years of lies? How do you explain something I had spent 4 years carefully building? How do you justify the unjustifiable? How do you explain to someone you love that you have completely deceived them? How do you look into the eyes of someone you love and admit that you have been a liar? For years, she said, reading the document with her eyes. Her eyes moved from side to side as she read every word, every line, every detail, every revelation. You kept this for 4 whole years. For years. 1,460 days. And you never told me. You never said anything. You just kept it and pretended everything was fine. Pretended we had an honest life together. Pretended we were a team. Pretended there were no secrets between us. For years. Exactly 4 years. 1,460 days. 35,040 hours. 2,102,400 minutes. 126,144,000 seconds. As if time had any real relevance. As if counting it in 1 year instead of 4 made any difference. It didn't. The lie was the same. The betrayal was the same. Only time had passed differently for each of us. For me, it had passed in the blink of an eye. For her, it had passed like an eternity. Do you know what this means to me? She continued, her voice growing stronger, more hurt, more angry, more desperate. Do you know what it means to find out that the person you sleep with every night, the person you trust completely, the person you planned your whole life with, was capable of keeping something like this? Of hiding something so important for me? I had no answer, because there was no answer that could fix this. There were no magic words that could undo 4 years of lies. There was no excuse that was sufficient. There was no explanation that would make it make sense. There was nothing I could say that could save this. Share this video right now. Click share. What city are you from? What country? What state? What region? What time is it there? Are you alone? With someone? With your family? What is your reaction right now? Do you think he deserved this? Tell me in the comments, because I want to know where this story is reaching. I want to know how many people are feeling the same panic. I want to know if you recognize this feeling of betrayal. The more I think about it, she continued, pacing the room, pacing back and forth as if in a cage, trapped, desperate, looking for a way out. The more I remember every moment we spent together, every kiss, every hug, every "I love you," the more I understand it was all a lie. It's not just this document. It's everything. It's every conversation we had. It's every promise you made. It's every moment we shared. It's every kiss you gave me. It's every hug. It's every, I love you, you whispered in the dark of night. It's absolutely everything. And in that moment, I realized something profound. Something that would change the way I see relationships forever. Something that would change me forever. I realized it wasn't just about the document. It wasn't just about that piece of paper. It was about trust. It was about building something for years and then destroying it in a second. And once trust is broken like that, there is no rebuilding it. Not really. It will never be the same. It will always be cracked. It will always be damaged. It will always be broken. The scars will be there forever. You can glue the pieces back together, but the cracks will remain visible. In the months that followed, everything fell apart, slowly at first, then all at once. Like a building collapsing in slow motion, you see every floor falling. You see every wall breaking. You see every structure disintegrating. And you can't stop it. You can't do anything but watch your world fall apart. Everything you built, everything you fought for, everything disappears. Conversations happened. Conversations that lasted for hours. Conversations until dawn when no one else was sleeping. Conversations where neither of us could really talk to the other. Conversations where there was more silence than words. Heavy silences. Arguments happened. Fights happened. Shouting happened. Tears happened. Long, agonizing silences happened. Silences so deep you could hear your own heart beating. So quiet you could hear every breath. Every sigh. Everything that could happen in a destroyed relationship happened. And in the end, only ruins remained. Ruins of what was once a life I thought was solid. A life I thought was built on truth. A life I thought was safe and stable. But it was all built on a lie. On deceit. On secrecy. On illusion. It was all an illusion. I learned one thing during that time. I learned that secrets don't protect people. Secrets destroy people. Secrets corrode relationships from the inside out. Secrets create distance. Secrets create doubt. Secrets create distrust. Secrets create hatred. Secrets create a poison that will slowly kill everything you love. And once you plant those seeds of distrust, they grow. They multiply. They take over everything. Until there is nothing left but distrust. Until there is nothing left but hurt. Until there is nothing left but ruins. If this story made you think about your own secrets, about people you trust, about what you are hiding, leave a like. Click that button now, because these uncomfortable thoughts are the most important ones. They are the ones that matter most. They are the ones that can change your life before it's too late. They are the ones that can save you. And in the comments, what city are you from? What country? What state? What region? What continent? What time is it there? Do you keep secrets like I did? Would you side with the one who found out? Could you forgive something like this? Do you know someone who has been through something similar? Do you have secrets that are destroying your relationships right now? Tell me, because I want to know your stories too. Because these stories are not just mine. They are ours. They are human stories. They are stories about how we live, how we relate, how we destroy and rebuild, how we fall and get back up. Share this story with someone you love, because sometimes the most important stories are about people who do nothing. People who simply allow lies to grow until they blow everything up. People who kept secrets until they could no longer keep them. People like me. Subscribe to the channel for more real stories about secrets, trust, relationships, and how the truth always emerges. Because the truth always emerges. Eventually. Always. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how many years you keep it. It doesn't matter how many layers you put on top of it. The truth always comes out. The truth always comes to light. The truth always wins. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to share my story with you. Thank you for letting me vent. Thank you for caring. Until the next story that will change your life too. Until the next revelation that will make you question absolutely everything.